You probably think you know how to pet your cat. You have been doing it for years. Your cat tolerates it, sometimes even seems to enjoy it, and occasionally walks away mid-session without warning, and you have no idea why. Here is what most cat owners never find out. There are specific areas on a cat's body that trigger threat responses so deeply wired into its nervous system that even a cat that loves you, trusts you completely, and has lived with you for years can shift from relaxed to defensive in under a second when you touch them. And most owners hit at least one of these spots every single day without realizing it. Today we are going through 4 body parts your cat instinctively dislikes being touched, why each one triggers the response it does, and what is actually happening in your cat's nervous system in that moment. By the end of this video, you will pet your cat differently, and your cat will notice the difference immediately. Before we get into the 4 areas, one thing worth understanding is that feline touch sensitivity is not about personality or mood. It is about anatomy and evolutionary history. Cats are both predators and prey animals. Every area of the body that is critical for survival, every spot where an injury would be immediately fatal or permanently disabling, is wired with a heightened threat response to unexpected touch. Your cat is not being difficult. It is being exactly what it was built to be. The first area is the belly, and this one is the most misunderstood because cats create the confusion themselves. Your cat rolls onto its back, exposes its stomach, looks at you with soft eyes. Every signal it is sending reads as an invitation. So you reach down and touch the belly, and within 2 seconds you have a hand wrapped in claws and teeth, and your cat is looking at you like you committed a crime. You did not misread the signal entirely. The belly roll is a genuine expression of trust and comfort. Your cat feels safe enough in your presence to expose its most vulnerable surface. In the wild, an animal that rolls onto its back in front of a predator is dead. Your cat doing it in front of you is a significant statement about how it sees you. But the belly roll is not an invitation to touch. It is closer to a display. Your cat is showing you something, not offering it for contact. The distinction matters enormously because of what the belly actually represents neurologically. The abdomen houses your cat's vital organs with no skeletal protection. In a real attack, a bite or strike to the belly is often fatal. Your cat's nervous system knows this at a level far below conscious thought. The moment something makes contact with that surface unexpectedly, the threat response fires before any rational assessment can happen. It does not matter that the hand belongs to you. The signal travels faster than recognition. Dr. Marty Becker, veterinarian and animal behavior researcher, describes this reflex as a hardwired protection response that bypasses the social bond entirely. Your cat is not choosing to bite you. Its body is responding to a threat signal before its brain has finished identifying the source. If your cat has ever gone from relaxed belly up to full defensive mode in under a second, drop a comment below. Almost every cat owner has a story about this. The second area is the base of the tail, and this one surprises people because it sits right next to a spot most cats love. Scratch the base of the spine just above the tail, and many cats arch into it, purr loudly, and seem intensely satisfied. Go 1 inch further down to the tail base itself, and the reaction shifts completely. The tail base is dense with nerve endings, in a way that makes stimulation in that area overwhelming rather than pleasant. Researchers studying feline somatosensory processing have found that the nerve concentration in the tail and its base creates a sensitivity threshold that tips from pleasurable to aversive very quickly, and the tipping point is different for every cat, and can vary day to day in the same cat depending on its overall arousal state. This is also why tail-based touching tends to cause what behaviorists call petting-induced aggression, which sounds dramatic, but simply describes the phenomenon of a cat that was enjoying contact suddenly redirecting into a bite or swat with no obvious transition. The cat was not pretending to enjoy itself and waiting for an opportunity. It genuinely was enjoying itself, until the stimulation crossed a threshold its nervous system could not process as pleasant anymore. Animal behaviorist Jackson Galaxy points to the tail base as one of the most common sources of accidental overstimulation in cats, particularly during long petting sessions where the owner gradually migrates from the head and back downward. The cat's tolerance has already been reduced by extended handling, and the tail base tips it over the edge. Watch for the warning signals before you get there. Tail beginning to flick, skin on the back rippling, ears rotating backward. These happen before the bite. Most owners miss them because they are focused on the cat's face rather than its body. The third area is the paws, and this one is straightforward in its biology but frequently underestimated by owners who have seen their cat tolerate paw handling in the past. Your cat's paws are its primary tools for survival. They are how it hunts, how it climbs, how it defends itself, and how it escapes. The paw pads contain a high concentration of sensory receptors that give your cat precise information about surfaces, temperature, texture, and vibration. Cats use their paws to read the environment in ways their eyes and nose cannot. Having those tools restrained or manipulated by another creature is threatening in a very specific way. It is not pain sensitivity, though paws can be sensitive. It is loss of control. A cat whose paws are held cannot flee, cannot strike, cannot climb. Every option that survival depends on is temporarily removed. The nervous system responds to this the same way it responds to any restraint, with escalating distress. Dr. Mikel Delgado at UC Davis has documented that paw sensitivity varies significantly between cats and even between individual paws on the same cat. Cats that were handled extensively during the socialization window between 2 and 7 weeks of age, including regular paw contact, tend to show significantly more tolerance. Cats that were not handled during that window retain much stronger aversive responses to paw contact throughout their lives, regardless of how much they trust their owner in other respects. This is why veterinary nail trims are so stressful for most cats, even when done carefully and gently. It is not the nail trim itself. It is the sustained paw restraint required to perform it. Has your cat ever pulled its paw away the moment you touched it, even gently? That is the survival wiring running exactly as designed. The fourth area is the whisker zone, specifically the sides of the face around and behind the whisker beds. And this one is the most counterintuitive on this list because many cats appear to enjoy facial touching in general. Cats do enjoy being touched on the forehead, between the eyes, and behind the ears. These are areas where cats have scent glands they use in social bonding, and contact there triggers a pleasurable response connected to marking behavior. But the whisker area itself is neurologically distinct from the surrounding facial regions. Whiskers are not hair, they are sensory organs. Each whisker connects to a follicle packed with nerve endings that feed information directly to the area of the brain that processes spatial awareness. Your cat uses its whiskers to judge whether it can fit through an opening, to detect air movement that signals nearby prey or predators, and to sense the precise location and movement of objects in low light and in close proximity where its eyes cannot focus accurately. Pressure or manipulation of the whisker area does not just feel odd. It sends confusing and disorienting spatial information through a sensory system your cat depends on for accurate navigation of its environment. Some cats tolerate this because the social bond overrides the discomfort, but many cats, particularly those in already heightened arousal states, find whisker area contact genuinely distressing rather than simply unpleasant. This is also the reason behind a phenomenon called whisker fatigue, where cats eating from bowls that are too narrow show stress behaviors because the bowl walls press against their whiskers during eating. The sensory input from sustained whisker contact is tiring and irritating in a way that contact with ordinary skin simply is not. 4 areas. 4 distinct biological reasons why touch in those spots triggers responses that have nothing to do with how much your cat loves you or how well you have bonded. The belly that signals vulnerability at a level below conscious thought. The tail base, where nerve density turns stimulation into overwhelm with almost no warning. The paws that represent every option your cat has for survival and cannot bear to have restricted. The whisker zone that feeds a navigational system too important and too sensitive to handle casual contact without distress. Understanding these 4 spots does not mean avoiding all contact with your cat. It means becoming precise. The forehead, the cheeks just in front of the whisker beds, behind the ears, the base of the skull, the sides of the neck. These are where cats solicit contact from each other and where your touch lands as social bonding rather than threat activation. Learn where your specific cat's edges are, because every cat draws them slightly differently. And pay attention to the signals that come before any defensive response. The tail flick, the skin ripple, the slight ear rotation backward. Your cat is always warning you before it acts. It just does so in a language most owners never learn to read. If this explain something that has happened with your cat that you never fully understood. Share it with one person who has ever been unexpectedly bitten during what they thought was a perfectly nice petting session. And subscribe, because next week we are going into something that follows directly from this.